Welcome back to the I Am Passionate podcast. I hope you all are doing well. And I want to welcome back my two special guests who I will let introduce themselves. David, you go first.
Good. Yo, what up, Joe? Good to be here back on here, Jaron, Kevin, my dogs from college, man. So always good to see y'all whenever we can. Obviously, we grown adults now. This is crazy. So always good to see y'all and definitely happy to be here for sure.
All right, so boy Kevin, have you back on the podcast. I always love getting up with my guys, talking football. So I'm excited for this first real week of college football, and we're gonna see what you got in store for you guys for this episode.
Exactly. And both of you, I could not have said it any better. It's always great to have both of you. And also, over the course of the college football season and also NFL, got to have both y'all back on just so we can, kind of check in for both college and NFL. But this week is centered around college football. But before we dive into college football, gotta ask y'all about Micah Parsons.
Yeah,
What are y'all thoughts on Micah Parsons?
You know, me and Dave are both NFC North fans. I'm a Bears fan.
man.
He's a Detroit fan. I'm gonna be honest. At first I was like, dang, that kind of sucked because I was if anybody, wanted, I feel like the Bears wanted, we still need to help that pass rush, but we I'm not giving up two first. So, I was panicked at first, but I'm cool with it now. Green Bay gotta pay him a bunch of money, which I mean they already gotta pay Jordan Love 55 million a year. Now they gotta pay him 47. They really can't, keep restructuring people. I mean they could, but then that's gonna be a whole nother problem. Like restructuring guys, and you got receivers, you got running backs who probably want to get paid. So it's gonna be very weird for I say the front office for the next 3 4 years when you don't have the first round picks, and you also got to pay a bunch of guys who want their second and third contract.
David, what do you think?
Well, my biggest thing, the first thing I saw when I saw the trade is, wow, I just got done watching Jerry Jones, the gambler, his whole special on Netflix. And it was kind of funny because it started talking about like the Herschel Walker trade that led to them getting all the picks that helped them get their couple runs in the 90s of the Super Bowl runs there. So I was like, dang, does he think like this is that situation where he can turn those into, really good draft picks? Everybody's talking about Arch Manning to Dallas. I don't know how much of a reality that is. And then you already got Dak Prescott. I mean, that's a whole nother can of worms. But that was like the first thing I thought. I was just like, wow, this man really does believe in an entertainer soap opera type of thing because that was a big breaking news like everywhere. Like even my job, everybody started pinging and going crazy. They like said, forget work. We're talking about Micah Parsons. Like, what just happened? What's going to happen with our Lions? And I was just like, that's a good point. The next thing I thought was how funny it was watching Stephen A. Smith do an interview with Jerry Jones, and Jerry Jones just kept adamantly saying Micah Parsons will be a Dallas Cowboy, and how Stephen A. Smith is going to react to this news. And I can see him now just talking so spicy. I can't wait for it. And the third thing, now going back into the NFC North, couple things there. Number one, Green Bay was able to keep Rashawn Gary, who I've been a fan of since he was at Michigan, and even before when he was a recruit. And then they were also able to keep Rashawn, but they did have to give up Kenny Clark, who got to show some love to the nose tackles. That's the position I play, interior D line. You feel me? But gotta love that Kevin interior D line. You feel me? So we love that part. It's not the position everybody glorifies, but if you know, you know. Kenny Clark is a dog, but personally, I don't know if I'm trading an interior D lineman for an outside pass rush guy. That's a little bit of a interesting take.
I'm gonna take that one step further
Yeah,
because like I have the respect for interior D line and also Kenny Clark with what he can bring,
yes,
but I am not sure I am going to trade basically a top 10, top five, top three, well, top five, top five, top 10 player in the whole entire NFL,
yes.
a top three pass rusher. And I think he's 25, 26 years old. technically
and,
not even in his prime.
and can drop back and cover and play linebacker outside.
Yeah, he can play
So
any position on defense, even though that he's
Bring in no
predominantly
run
a pass
defense.
rusher.
yeah,
And the thing is, like, is he really that bad in run defense? I'm not saying he's amazing.
and that's the
I mean,
thing.
if I'm the Detroit Lions, I'm not scared.
I'm
You got
scared
David
for one
Montgomery.
person.
You
I'm
got
scared for
Jamar
one
Gibbs.
person. Man. I'm
Yo,
scared for one
I'm
person.
telling you, if
Taylor Decker. He's a liability in pass rush. I'm not gonna lie. Bro, I swear on everything I love, if I was playing against the Detroit Lions personally, Taylor Decker cannot stop a bull rush to save his life. I will put Micah Parsons over on the other side and let him go one on one with Taylor Decker, who's really old and he's pushing the limits. I'm not gonna lie. And then I would let Rashawn Gary handle business with Penei Sewell.
you
If I
got
was,
you
but
got David Montgomery and Jamar
yes,
Gibbs, you
and we should be good.
you're not passing. You run the ball versus
Yes.
Green Bay half the game. If Detroit loses to Green Bay this year, I would be shocked. If it's even if it's a one possession game, I'll be shocked. I
Yeah.
I don't know how like I get they lost their coordinators and all that and people panicking, but they still have the talent. They still got the guys on the roster. Like
Yeah. And like really just my thoughts on the matter is that one, I'm pretty sure in that press conference, Jerry Jones basically said that they could have paid Micah back in April if he wanted to, which I thought that was funny. But I personally would not have done it. Like, I'm a Ravens fan. I'm not even in the NFC North. Like, basically, all I'm saying is like if I even know that yes, they play two different positions, but like I don't care what you'd offer. Like if I'm in charge of the Ravens, if you offer me every draft pick known to man for Lamar Jackson, that the answer is no. If I'm a
Right.
Dallas Cowboys fan, if you are like, bro, you better give me every player on your defense, and I'll consider the trade for Micah Parsons, a 1 for 11 man trade. But I mean, I think
Laughing is crazy.
the
I go lie.
truly.
You know how you know how bad you gotta feel if you're one of the 11 that get traded. Like, dang, I was only 1/11 of a man, and what like I ain't like these ain't just guys in the street. Like these are NFL players, dog. Like I'm a
For
feel
real.
away. They
you
gotta
need,
got ego. Like ain't no way, bro.
I know I got on Jerry Jones in the group chat yesterday, Jaron.
Hmm.
I'm be honest, looking at it, asking for 47 million is ridiculous. I would never pay him. I
Mm,
I'm a firm believer, and me and David, we watch baseball. I'm a
yeah.
firm believer in the baseball strategy. Sign these players to long-term contracts with low annual averages early.
Yes.
The same thing they did with Ronald Acuna and a lot of other guys. Because if you don't, you get guys like Juan Soto, where he asked him for 700 million.
Yeah.
And guess what? Somebody gave it to him. But if he would have
Yeah.
signed a contract with Washington back in the day, he probably wouldn't probably making what 20, 30 million a year. Now he getting something outrageous. But
Yeah.
uh to get back to football, is why didn't they sign him beginning of last year? Extend him. He's one of the best defensive players in the league.
Yeah.
It was Jerry Jones' pride. Everybody was saying that Jerry always signs people late. He always does it. Like he just always goes late. When I watched the documentary, he let Emmett
Emmitt
Smith
Smith.
sit out for like 2 games.
I didn't even
Like,
see the
bro,
documentary, but I saw that part on TikTok.
like, yo, like I wasn't even a thought yet in my parents' mind. I don't even think they knew each other at the time that happened. But you know what I'm saying? Like, my dad was over here running around the east side when that happened. But still, like, it's just like, bro, you have one of the greatest running backs. He's out here putting up yards, and they just went to the Super Bowl. You gonna let the man sit out? Like, what are we doing?
Yeah, for real.
But that's just his pride. He wants to be the controller. He wants to have his hands in everything. And I think he just needs to retire as a GM. Let one of his kids run the GM spot. He's got an older son that's probably older than my parents that could literally take over as the GM. He can just stay an owner and just call it. He's doing too
And I
much.
heard his son worse than him.
Oh Lord,
Mm,
yeah, yeah. His son probably didn't want to pay. Probably
yeah,
want to pay him
for
20
real.
million.
Yeah.
But
I heard his son worse than him.
Yeah, honestly,
but
better too.
enough about Dallas Cowboys and Jerry. They could be their own reality TV show with Jerry Jones. But just
Honestly,
to shift to college football a little bit, Um, really, the first question that I want to ask the two of you is what team in college football do you think has the most pressure on them? Or to add a second thought to this, if you don't want to say a team, if you want to say a specific person like a coach,
Mm,
I I may not know as much about I have not followed college football as long as the two of you have. So my answer might be the more basic answer. I
okay.
am actually going to say the head coach of Bama. Like
I like that.
I'm saying that more so just because kind of from a Alabama fans from like the spoiled context because um like I think they're gonna always have like good recruits and always have a team to compete. And I remember last year I believe they lost to Vanderbilt. Was it? They lost to some team that they definitely should have beat. Like
They
they beat
they lost to
Georgia.
Vanderbilt. They
Yeah,
lost to Georgia. It looked like it was about to be another rerun of Alabama Dynasty, just with a new coach.
Gee,
Then
yeah,
it
and
lost to Vanderbilt.
I
Um,
want to say they lost to Oklahoma late last
yeah,
season.
they
Was it
lost to
Oklahoma?
Oklahoma late, and then I'm
yeah,
pretty sure they lost to Michigan in the bowl game.
Yeah.
yes.
So like
They
those are three teams that I honestly think that they could have beaten last year. So like I think that the person the person and the team, same answer. Alabama's head coach, I think, has the most pressure, and I think their team has the most pressure because if they underperform in today's sports climate, you don't have the patience that people once
Mhm.
had to rebuild a program, rebuild a team. It's not there anymore. Like
Yeah,
that clock is just much faster. So like I get it. Last year was his first season being Alabama's head coach. This year's going to be a second. I get the I get the feeling that if he underperforms, he might not be a long as Alabama's head coach. But what do you guys what are your guys' answers?
You stole my answer. I was gonna say Alabama football team. As a whole, the Nick Saban era didn't end the way they wanted to. They lost to Georgia. A couple of times. Georgia ended up winning the national championship. Back to back actually. Which is your SEC rival. Then you go into a bowl game with Michigan and say that we should beat Michigan because we're better than them. They're Big Ten and we're SEC. And then you lose to Jim Harbaugh and JJ McCarthy, which everybody thought that wasn't, a good enough pair to win a national championship.
yeah,
Um, so you get embarrassed in that way. So then Nick Saban retires. You bring in a new coach who was in the national championship game. He leaves Washington, comes over to coach your team, already has the roster, and you talked about rebuilding. It's no rebuilding with this roster. And
Exactly.
no,
I get what you're saying. I
definitely
get what you're saying. That like you're trying to form your own team, but there's no rebuilding with this roster. You already have a team where like a quarter of the guys can be on an NFL roster in a couple, years. So it's no rebuilding. It's literally, can you win with a bunch of 4 and 5 stars, or at least be good enough to make the playoffs? You didn't make the playoffs with Bama.
yeah. That's
Like
insane.
Nick Saban left the cookbook. All you had to do was follow the recipe. Like
Exactly.
he didn't do that. And I guess it's hard when you transfer into a different team. You didn't really recruit these players and all that. But I mean, he's had time now. He can recruit some guys, bring guys in through the transfer portal. The pressure is on now because, like Jaron said, the clock is ticking for Bama fans. They're gonna get impatient. They want to win back to back national championships like they were with Bama. I mean, like with Saban. And I don't know if losing to Vanderbilt, a second year in a row or something. You
Yeah,
lose to Vanderbilt. If he loses to teams like that this season, he might get fired, honestly.
yeah,
So it's on Bama as a whole, but yeah, like you were saying, the head coach of Bama definitely on the hot seat kind of already start the year.
yeah.
David, what do you think?
No, I like that. I like the Bama take. I definitely agree. If he can't get it done with Bama, I saw Saban in a couple clips, internet, still wanted to coach. He might be the first coach to coach with his own name on the field. I ain't never seen nothing like that, but it might get done. So he better get it together or they're gonna get him up out of there, especially with that coaching. Um, my one take, I will say, I got two of them. I want to see what Notre Dame does. I'm very interested to see how Jeremiah Smith can do his thing with that team. And I think for them to get that far as they did last year, um, They definitely need to finish. I don't think they've done a very good job finishing. They've been doing a good job getting to the playoffs and like getting to bigger games, but they're just not finishing. They're not winning. So I want to see how they can handle the other one that I have, Miami, Carson Beck being over there now. I want to see, can he replicate what we just saw go to the league in Cam Ward? Can he take that Miami team, muster those guys up? They obviously lost a huge supporting cast with those receivers going and stuff like that. But I want to see how much was it worth getting Carson back over there. And then as far as the youngins out here doing it, I ain't gonna lie. There's two youngins in the Big Ten I want to see duke it out. The Ohio State quarterback and the Michigan quarterback. I want to see both of them youngins do it. I love seeing the young dogs live. That's why I didn't play an extra year of college because I was like, hey, let the young dogs do it. I want to see young life do it. I already have my turn. It's time for the youngins to do it. So my thing is this: when it comes to Ohio State quarterback, hey, a lot of pressure is going on the Ohio State. They do not like losing, especially to the team up north. You know what I'm saying? So I want to see how he can adjust to the pressure in the shoe, hostile environment. Can he handle it? As far as Bryce Young, I literally played against his high school. So I know where he's coming from. I know that area. I love all those guys over there. I love talking crap to him. I know he got that swagger to him, telling him I'm the you ain't never seen a freshman like me. I couldn't imagine getting $12.5 million and playing for the team I always wanted to play for growing up. In Michigan, the whole hood will be out, man. And your first game is a night game at the big house that barely happens with night games. So I want to see him do his thing, but that's a lot of pressure. So it's going to pressure burst pipes and make diamonds. Let's see it.
That is true. That is true. That is true.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm excited for a lot. All right. So for the next question, want to talk about is really just both of you kind of talking about like, your favorite teams because like David, you were hinting at it, a little bit. Just yeah, you're from Michigan and also Kevin, Ohio State. Y'all just destined to have a rivalry in just
Sure.
every sport. So like David, actually starting with you, David, what are your thoughts on Michigan football for this upcoming season?
My thoughts on Michigan is number one, can we finally please get the signal calling scandal behind us? Whatever we need to do, we done been paying 20 million, can't even get revenue. I ain't gonna lie. That's gotta suck. We can't even get revenue from winning the college football playoffs. If we win it, we get none of that money. We leave with a Hector Zeroni. That's a zero. For those of y'all don't know about zero. So that kind of sucks there. But as far as the team, I think we got a transfer wide receiver that's supposed to be like that. That's in the rotation. Don't know his name, but I'm pretty sure we'll probably know it against New Mexico State a lot. That's what we're hoping. I really want to see how the offensive line looks. I know that we had a couple of cats that went to the league, but we're always known for having a strong line running the ball. I'm interested to see what Justice Haynes do. I believe he was the cat that transferred from Alabama, so it's going to be interesting to see how he gets mixed in there. And like I said, Alabama transfer and Michigan run as a running back. Oh man, like that's insane. You know what I'm saying? So I like the sound of that. It sounds good, but we got to see it. So as far as anything, I just really look at Michigan and just look at Bryce Young, freshman quarterback, how that's got him. And then we also have like we paid $2 million for Jaden Davis the year before, um, and now he's the backup. So he got probably the most expensive quarterback and probably the most expensive backup quarterback in the Big Ten easily. So I ain't gonna lie, it's looking interesting. The defense should be there. So excited to see what they do, man. Shout out Rashawn Benny. See what he do for Detroit. See what he do too.
Kev, you got anything to say about Michigan, or if you want to just talk about Ohio State, you can talk about Ohio State. Anything you want.
I ain't got no words for Michigan. Yeah, I know. Uh,
Hey.
I said Ohio State this year. The key is like a lot of teams who come up with championship, they let the pressure get to them of can we repeat? Can we be great again? And it's tough in NFL, but it's especially tough in college because a lot of times you lose a lot of seniors, and nowadays dude might win a national championship and still decide to transfer for money or anything like that. I would say the best thing Ohio State is don't let the pressure get to you, especially this game. You know, tomorrow, you know, playing against Texas is a big game. SEC versus Big Ten this early in the season. You know what I'm saying? So it's not like you're waiting for playoffs. You get a real challenge first game.
It's the playoff game.
Yeah. This could literally be a quarterfinals, semifinals game, or even a national championship game. So I would say take advantage of being, you know, being at home. The games that you do have at home, you got a young quarterback. You still got some of the, you know, leaders on the team coming back, like Jeremiah Smith. So I would say take advantage of those guys being there. But overall, the key to being successful this year, don't let the pressure get to you. Ryan Day, don't panic. You know what I'm saying? Anytime something goes wrong and ruin your coaching or whatever, just keep it simple. Y'all got a better roster than 95% of teams out there. Just keep it simple.
Facts.
Yeah.
Facts. That's fair.
Well, that was a great segue into kind of talking about, some of the, bigger games, this weekend, with, number three Ohio State, versus number one Texas. And also, before talking about the game, also shout out to Kevin, for picking, some of the games, to talk about and, kind of just helping me out with that. But between Ohio State and Texas this weekend, you know, two young QBs, you got Arch Manning and you got Ohio State's. Isn't his name Julian like Sayin or something, or am I thinking of something
Yeah,
completely off?
yeah. His last name is saying, yeah,
Yeah, Sayin.
Yeah.
So two young quarterbacks in their first big game. You got, like the Big Ten in Ohio State, and you got, SEC in Texas. I want to say, what's your predictions for the game?
um, I'm expecting a dogfight. My prediction for this game is really whose run game is going to be better will win the game. Whoever can move the ball running and make it easy for their young quarterback is going to win the game. We've seen Arch Manning play before, but if we're being honest, those wasn't real challenges. He didn't play Ohio State. He didn't play at Bama. He played teams I couldn't even name off the top of my head. I can't remember who he played. He didn't play anybody
He played
worse
You
from
Lose Money University.
He
yeah.
got in against Georgia one time, ain't it? He got in
Yeah,
against Georgia
He
once.
he
yeah.
got in,
It was
but
garbage. It was
yeah,
yeah.
it was his start to finish time though, you know what I'm saying? Like first quarter in, getting in the game. Uh hasn't played anybody yet. I mean, the talent is definitely there from the games that we did see and the little stuff that we did see. But I would say who's gonna make the environment less stressful for the quarterback. Usually you think the home team is there's no pressure, but being a young quarterback or first time starting at Ohio State, a big school like that, you know what I'm saying? It don't matter if you're at home on the road. That first game is always completely nerve wracking. A lot of them say like you don't want to mess up in front of your hometown, your home team, because the fans will quickly turn on you. So this is really going to be a battle of who can even when a box is stacked. They got 7, 8 in the box on us. Okay, we can still run it, make it easy for our quarterback on third and short. That's going to be the key. You start pitting Archman in third and 16s and third and 12s. It might get bad for him. Loud stadium, first time, on the road, things like that. It's really going to be a key of who can control the environment the most. And I'm going to give it to Ohio. Obviously, it's a biased take, but, I ain't got no shame in my game with that. I'm going to give it to the home team first big, game of the season.
I like that.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree. I agree. And the other thing, my prediction for this game is I think both sides on offense, they're probably going to play their worst game of the year. And like not even just from a statistic standpoint, it's just because like normally in sports, like your first game is kind of one of your worst games. And then as the season goes on, the team, kind of gets better, hits their stride. I'm not anticipating a high scoring game at all. I'm
Mm.
anticipating like at most 24 points. At most.
I
I'm
would say
think
the
Mm.
same.
yeah, at most. I'm thinking it's going to be like Ohio State 24, maybe Texas like 20. I think there's going to be tons of missed opportunities on both sides, regardless of who wins or who loses. But I think Ohio State's defense is going to make one more big play on defense than Texas, and that one more play will win them, whether it's a strip sack, a clutch stop on fourth down, an interception, just something, a huge play on defense. They're gonna make one more big play than Texas. I got them winning.
Mm. Yeah, no, I like Ohio State. I'm a little bit Big Ten biased. I do like Ohio State. Was it Caleb Downs? I'm a fan of his, even as a Michigan fan. I'm really a player guy, so like I really rock with Caleb Downs, what he stands for. Um, I would definitely say when you got young quarterbacks, the one thing that teams always like to look at is down and distance. Do not put your quarterback in a bad position early in the game. And I can't lie, I know the big crowds and stuff like that. Have y'all ever watch Power Rangers when they band together and make a Megazord? That's what Peyton, Eli, and the father Archie all need to do to put inside that little boy before the game and like make it Mega Manning. If they want to win the game. Because one thing I know about Big Ten football is we always got a D line, and I'm pretty sure didn't Texas lose an offensive lineman for the draft? Didn't they lose and get they had some
Yeah.
cut? Yeah, so I ain't gonna lie. Ohio State and Big Ten schools, they churn out defensive and offensive linemen like a next man up mentality. One guy go to the league, the younger cat even better. I was like, dog, like, like I thought the guy with the draft. Oh, that was the backup last year. He's like that too. So I think them boys go to hunt. I think it's gonna be a very physical game. And I got Ohio State winning at home. I don't think they lose. I want to see Archie lose and come back and see how he can handle that pressure. I want to see it.
All right, all right. For the next game, because we were talking about, Bama being the team that has the most pressure on them. Bama versus Florida State. Give me Bama. Like that Florida State quarterback was basically, I think he said something along the lines of Nick Saban's not there to save them or whatever.
Oh, they're done.
That is basically like chalkboard fuel. Like whenever they walk into facilities, they're gonna see those words. Honestly, I would be surprised if FSU scores more than 10 points. Now, the dude who said it, he could be raw as hell. I just don't trust this. I don't trust the team around him compared to Bama. Like I like,
Uh,
bro. Like you see like the freaking it's like the you typically seem like Shannon Sharpe, like you seem like basketball. It'd
yeah,
be like LeBron James, Steph Curry, it don't matter. Lakers in three, Lakers in four. It's you can have prime time, you can have Jalen Ramsey, it don't matter. Bama by 50.
yeah. All I gotta say about that game is, hey, my homie say, ball up top. Hey, Bama, Bama's taking that one by far. If Florida State even somehow can figure out how to make this a game, shout out to them. I think that'll be great for film, to
Fire
get on
Bama's head
film.
coach at halftime if that happens.
Oh yeah, 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 absolutely. Yeah, I don't think that'll be a close game at all. Um, yeah, the only way they win that game is if they somehow crash the bus before they get there. So yeah, sorry, that's over with.
I'm gonna go with y'all. What y'all saying. I got Bama as well, but I do think Bama gonna lead the stadium. With a scare. I don't think it's gonna be completely one sided. I think, but yeah, the reason that Florida State wasn't as good as they were supposed to be last year is really because they quarterback. They couldn't figure out their quarterback situation. If the quarterback situation is fixed this year, it can be a close game. And you got to think also, Bama doing the same thing. They lost Jalen Milroe. They're trying to figure out their quarterback situation too. First game, it could be a sloppy, first game for both teams, and Bama walk away with only winning by 10 or 7 or something like that. I would be surprised if they do their usual 20-point blowout or whatever. But I'm still gonna give it to Bama. I still think they get the better roster and the better talent, so it should go their way.
Is it good take to keep this, level because my take was above and beyond. But next game talk about is number four Clemson versus number nine LSU. These are two teams that could honestly have been the answer to the who has the most pressure on them, specifically
Yeah,
whether it's their head coach or the teams themselves. Um, From what I know about both of these teams, um, I don't know. I'm gonna say LSU. Their quarterback, I know a lot of people speaking very highly of him. I think I think he'll have a great first game of the year, and who knows, maybe his name will be in the Heisman conversation. Maybe. Because I'm not trying to say that definitively he's gonna win it, but he could at least show that, like, okay, I'm that dude for real with a good start to, I'm assuming even if it's not his senior season, I'm assuming that next year he'll probably put his name in the draft to a good start to his final college season.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go all the way. Give me Clemson.
Mhm.
Dabo Swinney has somehow always kept Clemson relevant. Um, I don't know how he went a good 3, 4 years without using the transfer portal. I don't know what he was thinking. I think overall, Swinney is the better coach. Him using the transfer portal is gonna give him the edge. Uh, I think K gonna ball out, and I think it's gonna be a W for them.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. I was gonna say LSU might have overall better athletes because they've been in the portal longer and stuff like that. But two words, one man, K Klubnik. I'm not gonna lie. I was kind of like I was watching like college football video games and following CFB 26 on a online. I mean 25 online, and I saw K Klubnik on that whiteboard and him putting his favorite plays on the board and hearing him talk about the game and the scheme. I think he might be the number one quarterback coming out this year. Hot take. Like I like K Klubnik. I think he's like that, and I think he's a game changer for Clemson. I like him.
Okay, okay, okay. Slowly starting to wrap up. We got two more sets of games. Um, the first out of the two games is number 6 Notre Dame versus number 10 Miami. Who y'all got?
I'm gonna take Notre Dame. I feel like in recent years they're the more battle tested team. They've seen a lot of great competition. Especially last year going to the national championship. Having to beat. I'm pretty sure they beat Penn State on their way to get there. They had a pretty good game versus Ohio State in the national championship. I would say last couple years are more battle tested. I trust them, even though Miami did pick up Carson Beck. He does have that SEC experience, being in dog fights versus Bama and stuff like that, and SEC championships. I think overall as a team, Notre Dame, having a coach, Marcus Freeman, uh, great coach. You know what I'm saying? A coach who can bring a team back from losing to NIU and early in the season somehow still get them to believe in themselves. Because I'm telling you, if I was in Notre Dame and we lost to NIU, I'll probably give up. that that would have been in the season. I've been in the season for me. So
Really.
uh, I think it's gonna come down to the coach, and I think Marcus Freeman does have the edge. So I think they'll get the W.
Rudy, Rudy, Rudy. I'm going with Notre Dame Fighting Irish all day. I actually think Notre Dame might curb stomp them. Honestly, I think that they're gonna have a strong front, and it's something about a team. Did they finally put names on the back of their jerseys this year?
I'm not sure. Maybe.
Yeah,
I
I'm not
ain't gonna
sure.
lie. You got to watch out for them teams that don't got their names on the back of their jerseys because they playing for a whole different reason. You feel me? They playing for tradition. They playing for passion. Because I ain't gonna lie. If I had to pick between a school that had the name on the back of the jersey and a team that didn't have the name on the back, I'm picking the one with the name on the back because you don't see that name. You feel me? So if somebody actually willingly went to the school with the name not on the back of their jersey, they playing for a whole nother psychological reason. So I'll watch out for them. I think Jeremiah Smith run all over the boys for sure. I like Notre Dame.
Normally on the podcast, I've noticed basically my picks, my predictions will be similar to whoever I have on. And so, you know what? I'm going to try to yes, this is a mix of me being different. I'm
Yes.
going to pick Miami, even though that
Ooh,
I truly, like, I would not be surprised if Notre Dame won this game. I'm going to pick Miami for one, just to be different.
yes.
And two, I'm gonna pick Miami just because I would not be surprised if this is a game that Notre Dame is kind of like, I don't want to say like underestimating Miami, so to speak, because yes, they
Mhm.
did lose like Cam Ward, they lost some other pieces. So like, I don't know, like Carson Beck can probably he kind of has a chip on his shoulder. I'm saying kind of just because it's like, I mean, he was the quarterback of Georgia and so like, a good team. I'm pretty sure he was the quarterback when they won the national championship.
Didn't
Maybe he
he lose
was.
his girlfriend?
No, that was Stetson Bennett. That was
Oh,
Stetson Bennett. I'm thinking of a
oh,
completely different dude.
oh.
But yeah, you are right. He did lose his girlfriend. He was dating one of the Cavender
That's a chip.
twins.
That's a chip.
Yeah. So,
That's a
and I'm
chip.
pretty sure he had one of his freaking cars stolen. Uh,
Oh my God, he's getting got.
yeah. Basically, Miami has not been good to Carson Beck. So if
He
he
won't be
balls
either.
out, he might ball out. But at the same time, for all the reasons that both of you said, I would not be surprised if Notre Dame don't. I'm gonna say Notre Dame won for those reasons. But I'm gonna be different. I'm gonna pick Miami just so I'm not picking the same picks as my guests every
Yeah,
single time. And
I like
so
that.
for the final game, we've got everybody's favorite team, Colorado versus
Yes,
Georgia
sir.
Tech. Um, um, I'm I'm gonna just be biased in this pick because I'm not a Colorado fan, but I mean I do root for Dion. I'm gonna pick Colorado to win this game. I'm pretty sure. I would not be surprised if Georgia Tech has the better team in this instance. I truly do not know, but um, my pick for this, uh, I don't have college football 26. I got college football 25, and so me and my brother we have a dynasty as Liberty, and Liberty's quarterback in college football 25 is currently Colorado's starting quarterback. That is 100% my reasoning for picking Colorado for winning this game. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of questions saying, can Dion, take care of business without, his son Shador, Shiloh, and Travis Hunter? But what y'all think?
I'm gonna be honest. I want Colorado to win, but I don't think it's a lot of look. I'm gonna say this: it's hard to replicate what happened at Colorado those last 2 years. You got Shador, who's a first round talent, but somehow he drops to the fifth. And then you have probably the greatest Heisman, I'll probably ever see in my lifetime, a star receiver. I don't think I'll ever see somebody play two sides of the ball that efficiently, for pretty much every snap of the game ever.
Yeah.
It's a big drop off at a lot of positions in Colorado. Their offense, like they replaced the quarterback. But I mean, how many guys? What they lost like two, three receivers to the NFL draft.
Yeah.
When they signed, they lost Shiloh. Um, it's a lot of shoes to
He can
fill.
come back. He didn't make the team. He can come back. I'm sorry. I love Shiloh. I'm sorry, Shiloh. I don't know how the rules work. They paying players. He can come back. He was undrafted. He can come back.
Bro, he done, bro.
Dang, bro.
Do
Uh,
but at the same time, though, if the Bengals didn't sign Shamar Stewart to that contract, he was practicing with Texas A&M. He had another year college eligibility. He could have played if the Bengals did not sign him. So, like, who's to say that
Shoot.
Shiloh could not have to that point?
man,
Well,
he 25.
he signed undrafted, but then got waived though.
He 25.
I mean, I was gonna say I don't think Shiloh Sanders is gonna be able to go back and play
I just
college
turned
football.
26. That's crazy.
Yeah, but you're not trying to play college football, bro. That's
No, I'm
different.
not. I tore my Achilles. Can't do it. Can't do it. But no, bro.
Man,
But
once you hit 24, that's NFL age. You need to be on your way to the NFL. You
can you
can't
tell
be
that? Can you tell
you
that to
can't
me?
be you
The
can't be
first
like
picture.
Milliken, 28,
Bro
28.
called me old. Hey, I don't know where Doggy at. I got another one-on-one for him. We can line
Uh,
up right now because he wanted to talk crazy, talking about I was old and I was only 22. He was 28. Like, and they'll say,
yeah.
"Oh, you've been here forever."
But
Dog, what? Like,
really,
yeah,
so David, I don't think you've given your predictions on
I'm sorry. I
Colorado
got
versus
beef.
Georgia Tech.
Yeah, let me get off the real life beef with certain players. Let me stop. Y'all know I'll be talking in the games. But Colorado, Georgia, for me to vote against Dion. I love Dion. and seeing some of those guys, Omarion Miller looks good. He looks different at that wide receiver. Also, they have a running back whose Instagram handle is Trackhawk, and he can run. I ain't gonna lie. That brother right there, man, nobody run that fast. Like in a practice. Like it was actually like giving Jimmy Horn a little bit in practice. So I hear what you said, like, but I also heard like what Dion was telling me, Dean, where he was talking about it is going to be a lot more physically imposing. And then I did see an interview with the Georgia Tech coach where they were talking about one of their practices, like that was the worst practice he's ever seen in his life, and they won't win if they practice like that. So, but obviously every team during camp has one of those type of practices. So, and then like literally the next day, Colorado had a similar practice, and he was going off on 18. But then yesterday, Randy Moss was at Colorado, and then they got Marshall Faulk as a running back coach, and Warren said like there's so much coaching experience. And Georgia Tech finished 7-6 in the
ACC.
ACC. You know what I'm saying? So 7-6, 9-7 conferences in terms of toughness, kind of similar ish. So it's a toss up, but for me, I'm gonna just be biased. I like Colorado. Let's do it.
All right, all right.
And
Well,
we can see a new Ralphie because the other Ralphie was out.
true, 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 true. But that's all I had for today's episode. I just want to thank you both for joining me. And, throughout the season, gonna have both of you on just so, we can kind of follow up, not just for college, but for NFL also. But thank you both for your time. I really, really appreciate it. And for all of those of you listening and watching, I appreciate it. And we'll catch you next time. Peace.
Mm.